The evolution of remote and hybrid work has permanently reshaped the security landscape, making endpoint and connectivity controls a central theme of SOC 2 compliance. Remote work security focuses on extending enterprise-grade protection beyond the office perimeter, safeguarding laptops, mobile devices, and data flows that operate from home networks, airports, and co-working spaces. Within the SOC 2 framework, these measures align with CC6, logical access, CC7, system operations, and the confidentiality criteria, ensuring that data protection is maintained regardless of geography. The goal is to create a consistent layer of defense that follows the user, not just the device, so that privacy and integrity remain intact even in decentralized work environments. The risk profile of remote work differs significantly from that of traditional office setups. Employees now rely on personal internet connections that vary widely in security quality, and some still use shared household devices for business purposes. This decentralization introduces new exposure points for phishing, credential theft, and social engineering, especially as oversight and peer supervision diminish outside the office. Awareness levels may also fluctuate among staff, particularly contractors or new hires unfamiliar with the organization's standards. Together, these factors elevate the likelihood of unauthorized access or accidental data disclosure, underscoring why remote work policies must go beyond convenience to address real-world threat factors. Secure connectivity is the technical backbone of remote security. Organizations must mandate virtual private network (VPN) connections, or, preferably, adopt zero-trust network access models that authenticate users and devices continuously rather than once per session. Open Wi-Fi and public hotspots should be explicitly prohibited or require secondary verification before access is granted. Device posture checks, verifying encryption, patch levels, and MDM status should be enforced prior to network connection. Logging every session provides a forensic trail that auditors can review for anomalies. These practices turn the remote connection itself into a controlled gateway, ensuring that trust is verified rather than assumed. Home office environments introduce their own unique security demands. Employees should secure their routers with strong passwords and ensure firmware is updated regularly to mitigate vulnerabilities. Every device used for work must be encrypted and actively monitored through the organization's MDM platform. Physical privacy also matters. Screens displaying sensitive information should not be visible to family members or visitors. Employees can be asked to complete self-audit forms attesting to compliance with these baseline controls, supported by photographs or configuration screenshots where appropriate. These attestations create accountability and offer SOC 2 auditors evidence that security extends into every home workspace. Handling data securely at home requires additional discipline. Printing confidential documents introduces unnecessary risk and should be prohibited unless absolutely essential. Where physical documents must exist, they should be stored in locked containers and destroyed using secure shredding methods once no longer needed. Digital-only workflows, using encrypted storage and approved collaboration tools, reduce the chance of mishandled paper records. Portable media, such as USB drives, must be encrypted and inventoried to prevent loss. Regular reminders and awareness campaigns reinforce these habits, translating corporate data handling policies into practical, household-level actions that uphold confidentiality commitments. Access management remains central to remote security governance. Each user should receive access strictly based on their functional needs, avoiding the just-in-case permissions that often lead to breaches. Time-based and role-based access restrictions further limit exposure, automatically expiring rights when projects or shifts end. Quarterly reviews ensure that access lists reflect only active personnel and valid business purposes. Periodic privilege audits can uncover dormant accounts or over-permissioned users, which are common weak points in distributed work models. Enforcing these principles ensures that the right people, and only the right people, can access sensitive systems at any given time. Rapid incident reporting and escalation are vital when teams operate independently across locations. Remote workers should have simple, always available channels, such as dedicated chat lines or hotlines, to report suspected security events. Clear definitions help staff recognize what constitutes an incident: phishing attempts, lost devices, unauthorized access notifications, or strange system behavior. Standardized checklists guide remote staff through containment steps, while centralized logs record detection times and remediation metrics. Tracking time to detect and time to resolve data supports SOC 2 operational metrics, proving that even in a decentralized model, incidents are handled with consistency and traceability. Contractors and vendors often work alongside full-time staff in remote environments, introducing unique access and data protection challenges. Every external party should sign non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, and acknowledge the organization's security policies before receiving system credentials. Access should be provisioned only through approved identity systems and restricted to managed environments, preventing data from being stored on uncontrolled devices. When engagements conclude, credentials must be revoked immediately and confirmed through offboarding reports. These procedures ensure that external relationships maintain the same security discipline expected of internal teams, preserving the organization's control boundaries even when work is outsourced. Travel introduces a different risk dynamic altogether, blending mobility with unpredictability. Employees working in airports, hotels, or client sites should use corporate VPNs for every session and apply screen privacy filters to protect sensitive content from prying eyes. Laptops should remain physically secured with cable locks when unattended, even for short periods. Public charging stations should be avoided due to juice-jacking threats that can inject malicious code through USB ports. Organizations should also educate employees on international data access laws, particularly those governing encryption and data transfer, to avoid legal complications while maintaining compliance abroad. Travel readiness becomes a practical extension of remote work hygiene. Remote collaboration tools are indispensable but must be tightly governed. Only vetted platforms that support encryption, access logging, and enterprise authentication should be approved for meetings and chat. Features like file sharing and screen recording should be limited to authorized users to prevent accidental leaks. Logs from collaboration platforms should be integrated into monitoring systems to detect unauthorized access attempts or suspicious data transfers. By treating collaboration tools as regulated systems, not casual conveniences, organizations can preserve confidentiality even in informal virtual interactions, a key expectation for SOC 2 compliant operations. Human factors remain pivotal in remote security success, making awareness and training indispensable. Distributing remote security guides helps employees configure home networks, manage devices, and recognize social engineering attacks. Simulated phishing campaigns tailored for remote work scenarios reinforce vigilance in realistic contexts. Measuring comprehension through quizzes and tracking completion rates ensures that training is more than symbolic, it's measurable. Updates should follow evolving threats, such as new video conferencing exploits or cloud storage risks. This rhythm of continuous education embeds security habits that endure beyond the classroom, strengthening organizational culture against both new and familiar threats. Finally, organizations must demonstrate proof of control effectiveness through evidence and attestation. Employees can be required to sign annual or quarterly acknowledgments affirming adherence to remote work security requirements. MDM screenshots and VPN connection logs verify technical enforcement. Training completion certificates and self-audit checklists confirm procedural compliance. These records are stored securely and organized for audit review, forming the documentary foundation of SOC 2 evidence. The result is a defensible, transparent framework showing that remote work is governed by the same rigor and accountability as on-site operations. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Visibility and monitoring are the linchpins that transform remote work security from a policy exercise into an operational reality. Endpoint telemetry and data loss prevention, DLP, controls ensure that organizations can see data movements and detect risky behaviors in real time. Alerts should trigger automatically when large data transfers, unusual logins, or attempts to bypass VPN policies occur. Integrating these signals into a central security operations center (SOC) dashboard allows analysts to correlate activity across users, devices, and locations. Monthly anomaly reviews provide valuable insight into user behavior trends, identifying areas that require either technical tuning or additional training. This constant feedback loop is what turns distributed security into a measurable, adaptive process under SOC 2's operational criteria. Legal and privacy considerations play an increasingly important role in remote work programs, especially when monitoring spans multiple jurisdictions. Every country, and sometimes each state, has different expectations around employee privacy and digital surveillance. Organizations must work closely with legal counsel to ensure that monitoring practices comply with local regulations while still achieving security objectives. Transparency is essential. Employees should be informed, in policy handbooks, about what data is collected and why. Collecting excessive personal information can inadvertently violate privacy laws and erode trust. Balancing oversight with respect for individual privacy demonstrates maturity and accountability, reinforcing SOC 2's core principle of responsible data stewardship. Incident coordination between remote teams and the central headquarters must be clear, swift, and standardized. Escalation paths should be well documented so that remote employees and contractors know exactly how to reach the central incident response team. Once an issue is raised, standardized templates guide root cause analysis, remediation, and closure documentation. Contractor incidents must receive the same level of scrutiny and follow-up as internal ones to ensure consistent containment. Lessons learned should be shared broadly across departments to prevent repetition. By aligning all incidents, remote or not, under one unified framework, organizations maintain visibility and control over their entire operational footprint, strengthening overall resilience and compliance assurance. Metrics and key risk indicators, or KRIs, provide the visibility needed to assess how well remote work controls perform in practice. The percentage of remote staff with compliant MDM enrollment and device encryption reflects control adoption rates. Tracking the number of remote-related security incidents highlights how often vulnerabilities translate into real-world risks. Average remediation time for connectivity or security issues shows operational responsiveness, while self-attestation submission rates measure engagement and accountability. Together, these metrics illustrate the health of the remote work program and allow leadership to make informed, data-driven improvements. They turn abstract risk management into quantifiable performance indicators. Automation enables remote security programs to operate at scale without overburdening administrators. VPN logs can feed directly into a Security Information and Event Management (SIEM), providing continuous insight into connection integrity and session trends. Device compliance checks should run automatically before granting access, blocking non-compliant devices until issues are resolved. Automated reminders can prompt employees to re-sign policy attestations or complete overdue training. Governance dashboards consolidate these automated processes into a single visual control center. Automation transforms compliance from a periodic effort into a continuous, self-enforcing system, one that embodies the SOC 2 concept of operational effectiveness through repeatability and real-time assurance. Despite strong frameworks, common pitfalls continue to challenge distributed security programs. Many organizations fail to manage home routers or shared family devices, allowing insecure networks to serve as attack vectors. Contractor onboarding sometimes lacks proper verification, leading to gaps in access visibility. Inconsistent policy enforcement across regions or departments erodes control uniformity and confuses staff. The solution lies in centralization and automation, leveraging unified MDM platforms, single identity systems, and automated compliance reporting to ensure consistency. By removing manual variability, organizations can achieve predictable, enforceable security outcomes that scale with workforce expansion and geographic dispersion. Cross-framework alignment ensures that remote work security contributes to multiple compliance initiatives simultaneously. These controls map directly to ISO 27001 Annex A.6, which addresses mobile and teleworking security, and to CIS Control 14, which focuses on protecting remote and mobile devices. Within SOC 2, the same measures reinforce both the privacy and confidentiality categories by ensuring data remains protected wherever it resides. Evidence, such as VPN logs, MDM compliance exports, and attestation forms, can often be reused for ISO, privacy, or cloud security audits. This unified approach reduces audit fatigue and strengthens the narrative of consistent, policy-driven remote work governance across all frameworks. Governance defines ownership and accountability for remote work security. A designated remote work security manager or equivalent delegate should oversee all related programs, coordinating with HR for onboarding and offboarding processes. This role ensures that every remote employee or contractor transitions through the same security checks, regardless of department or geography. Program metrics should be reviewed regularly in governance meetings, with findings escalated to senior leadership. Annual policy updates keep documentation aligned with technology and workforce changes. When governance functions proactively rather than reactively, remote work controls remain relevant and enforceable, sustaining both security and compliance continuity. Continuous improvement is what transforms a static policy into a living system. Each remote-related incident or audit finding should trigger a policy review or awareness update. Lessons learned can feed into new simulations, refined checklists, or enhanced technical guardrails. Employee feedback, collected through surveys or post-incident debriefs, provides valuable insight into real-world usability and challenges. Compliance trends should be measured to confirm that corrective actions translate into measurable gains over time. Continuous improvement isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about adapting the program to evolving threats, technologies, and work models while maintaining alignment with SOC 2's operational excellence principles. Evidence expectations for remote work programs center around verifiable proof of policy adherence and technical enforcement. VPN logs demonstrate secure connectivity, while MDM compliance exports confirm encryption, patching, and access control enforcement. Employee attestations and remote work checklists provide procedural validation. Incident reports and root cause analyses show how the organization handles disruptions, and training records demonstrate that awareness remains active. Together, these artifacts form the evidentiary backbone of remote work assurance. Auditors use them to validate that the same rigor applied inside corporate facilities extends seamlessly into home and travel environments. As remote work programs mature, their evolution follows a recognizable trajectory. Initially, controls are ad hoc, relying on employee self-discipline and basic VPN configurations. Over time, standardized policies, MDM enforcement, and centralized monitoring become the norm. The next stage introduces automation and analytics, providing predictive insights into compliance drift and user behavior anomalies. The final stage achieves continuous assurance, where every control, connectivity, access, monitoring, and training operates as part of a unified, self-correcting ecosystem. This maturity reflects the SOC 2 ideal: security and privacy built into the workflow, not layered on top as an afterthought. In conclusion, securing remote work extends beyond protecting devices. It's about safeguarding trust across every location where work happens. By enforcing consistent connectivity, data handling, and monitoring standards, organizations can ensure that home offices, travel setups, and contractor environments all adhere to the same high bar of confidentiality and integrity. Automation and visibility make compliance sustainable, while governance and training keep human behavior aligned with policy. Remote work security is no longer optional. It's the operating model of the modern enterprise. The next step in this journey will explore how disaster recovery and availability testing intersect with remote workforce readiness, ensuring resilience in every scenario where people and data converge.